So anyway, we just finished lighting up our Ecto 1. So I'm just going to slide him over there. Now, we've got another lighting kit. And this one is for the actual GhostBusters Firehouse, which I have slightly in frame. We're going to slide him out of the way, just because we don't quite need him just yet. So, let's crack this open. And I do, again, have instructions that I will be attempting to follow for this as well. Crinkle, crinkle. Who came here for the ASMR? Listen as I gently crush this plastic bag. Alright, that's how it goes. Alright, so let's test some lights. So this one came with multiple USB leads, which I'll admit is kind of annoying, but that's why I got the hub here. Because I wanted to be able to like plug everything in and turn it all off and on at the same time. Or because it's got switches, I can do individual things all whenever I want. I probably should have prepared these earlier. I was kind of curious about these because I was wondering if they were going to be wired in, because when it came to the ghosts on my particular firehouse, I like repositioned them to what I thought was aesthetically pleasing positions. So I'm glad to see that these are actually just battery operated. The switch on this one doesn't even work. Like, it works, but then doesn't stay clicked down. Okay, well these might be optional. So I'll just leave them over there. Alright, but anyway, let's test some stuff. I've got two USBs, and these are actually notated by first floor, second floor, and third floor, and then also the outside. So this right here is the traffic signal. Please tell me that it goes red to green. Oh my god, it does! It has a green light. Does it go to yellow? For like a short second? Okay, so it does. It actually works like a freaking traffic light. I love it. Great. Okay. So then we have this one here, which will be the controller for all of these. Alright, those work. Those work. Those work. Okay. Very exciting. Alright, so let's get the instructions up and ready to go, because I'm sure I'll need these. I just downloaded these from the Brick Loot site. That's where they recommended getting them from, so that's what I did. And I downloaded the PDF and put it on my phone. Alright, so we've got a few sets. I'm gonna unplug it. So basically what we're working with is a few different locations. We've got ground floor, okay, and okay, this has an extremely long wire on it, which is great. Ground floor, and then this is the first floor. So I'm guessing that either one of these is pretty much interchangeable. That's what I'm guessing. It looks like the second floor has a slightly longer one, which I'm going to say is this. So this is second floor, this is the first floor, and then this is the ground floor, which The ground floor, first floor. Alright, so we got the firehouse. And what it's telling me to do is to remove the flagpole. Fine. Out goes the flagpole. And then it wants to separate the building. Because we're going to be sort of dissecting it a tiny bit. And then we're going to remove this. Basically this whole block. Okay. Set this off to the side. And then we're going to separate this whole side. I'll get that later. Okay, then it's basically telling me to take off this part too. So now we're basically just dealing with the ground floor, it would seem. So I guess we're going to start off with the front door red lights. And one of them has definitely a longer cable than the other. And again, if I'm going slow, it's purely because I don't want to ruin any of these little wires. We need to remove some parts. Let's get these out of the way. Not that one. You know what, I can actually probably get Slimer out of the way. He's not really necessary here. So, I'm just gonna remove these. Throw them off to the side because they'll never be used again. And looks like we're doing a little bit of separating. I'm gonna pull up on top of the pulling up on the archway here. I'll lift up this beam. And we're gonna remove the archway. Apparently that was supposed to all come off with it. And it says to loosen the part below the clip block. Okay, so the first one, our very first light boy. Clip in here. Then it's going to tuck. In the post for the door. Sort of be held in place underneath this one. And we're going to install the other light on the other side the same way. Okay, this is Christmas music. We can skip that. My guess is that both sides of this wire are gonna go back to the opposite side. Because that should be that. Because everything else should be going back towards the rear half of the firehouse. Alright. Alright, we put the door arch back. Effectively locking those pieces in place. Alright, so it says before I do any of these, we're going to remove the pendant lights, but we're going to leave the blue pegs in place. Too bad that they easily pull out. They're better at pulling out than my dad was. So it's telling me now to separate the first and the second floor. Okay, so now we have the first and ground floor. Install the first plate with the mini plug on the left side first. Okay, so it's talking about this guy. I have it in the position and it's asking me to have it in. Trying to get the stud number measurements right so that I have like all of the space that it wants me to have. Okay, there we go. We still got like a couple, like actual just light strips just kind of hanging loose here. And of course the pendant lights. Which it wants me to do now. So let's grab these. Okay, there's one pendant light. Let's do the second one. Right, second pendant light installed. It wanted me to do a little bit of cable management. I'm telling you this much. You're not going to want to, try to move this apart quickly. Okay, and I can actually manage those cables a little bit better once I actually get them all, like, once everything's all put together. Okay, so I thought I was going crazy. Again, we're coming to like similar complaints that I had with the instructions for the first kit, where like it tells you to do things, but then it doesn't tell you to do certain things. But the other thing too is that we still have still have like a couple little hanging lights here, which I'm guessing are going to go on the underside of the, like, basically on the ceiling in here. And then there's the matter of where does the plug go? It doesn't tell you. We're moving on to the next floor. I will say this though. All things aside, this is actually probably a much easier lighting kit than the Ecto-1 was. It makes sense. I mean, we're just lighting a house, basically. Alright, so it tells me to remove the pendant lights on the first floor. You know what? I'm gonna move this one. Maybe. No, I'm not. Alright, it stays right where it is. Boom, boom, boom. It tells me to then place the second floor like I did the first floor. Second floor is a bit heavier. That scares me a little bit more. Alright, so it's not even telling me to grab the next set. It just says, do this. So I'm going to grab the set that I have assumed is for the first floor. So we are going to start with the piece that has the plug. Get the hand, Satan. That's like way too weighty. Yeah, I think I have the wrong one because instead of reaching to here, it's supposed to go all the way over here. I mean, okay, these kits aren't necessarily cheap. Like, I wouldn't say that they're expensive either. It was like $36 for the for the Ecto-1. And it was $86 for... Oh wait, please. There's $86 for the Firehouse. But the least that they could have done was, like, give you an idea of which set of wires was which. I'm not crazy there, right? Okay, this seems a lot better. Okay. This one daisy chains over to here. Chains over to this one. Leaving me with two of these boys. I like the fact that it doesn't even tell me to install the pendant lights. Which we're gonna do anyway, so let's just do that. I gotta say, that worked so much better last time. I'm just gonna dangle that down there for right now. Okay, this one should be pretty easy. I don't have to worry about the center peg on this one. And dangle that. should just be a simple matter of attaching that, and then spooling the cable a little bit around the peg. So I have to move this a tiny bit so I can do that. I keep these guys separated too. Okay, it's right there. My idea was working and then it didn't. Because I couldn't freaking with my fingers. Alright, let's see if I can do better with this one. This one is right here. And we'll just turn this one a little bit to tighten that wire. We're set. Alright, we got the plug, and we got that hanging off to the side now. Okay, so we're up to the top floor. We're basically almost done. Looks like it's going to take us about an hour or so. We're not all the way done though, so let's just not count our chickens till they're hatched, shall we? Okay, now we definitely need this one. We definitely know that we need these pendant lights removed. We need the lid. You know what? It didn't even tell me to remove this. But in the instructions, it is removed. Anyway, here's the lid. Let's angle this down just a little bit so we can see what I'm doing. There we go. And they're sort of just becoming more and more vague. Which is great. With this one, they're almost not even showing the whole piece. It's actually telling you to install the things this way. That was a nice loud noise. Ow. I mean, if the Ecto one is any indication of how cool this can look, I'm super excited for a freaking building. But the other thing too is that we still have like a couple little hanging lights here, which I'm guessing are going to go on the underside of the, like, basically on the ceiling in here. And then there's the matter of where does the plug go? It doesn't tell you. We're moving on to the next floor. I will say this though, all things aside, this is actually probably a much easier lighting kit than the Ecto 1 was. It makes sense. I mean, we're just lighting a house, basically. Alright, so it tells me to remove the pendant lights on the first floor. You know what? I'm gonna move this one. Maybe. No, I'm not. Alright, it stays right where it is. Boom, boom, boom. I will say I'm really excited. As much frustration as I'm having with some of these pieces, I'm like super excited to see this thing all put together. For this, students, it's home right here. I'm gonna do a little twirl. Okay. Alright, fantastic. The main floors have basically been attached. So it says install the right side lights and build it up from the ground. So let's do that. So I've got the right side here. I'm sorry if you can't actually see what I'm doing. I apologize. So basically, I'm just installing the lights over here. I am reattaching to the individual floors. And now I'm up to the actual roof portion. The roof portion here. Which, okay, goes this way. I've got my two lights. I'm trying to place them exactly where they have theirs. This one's really weird. Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna reinstall this. Right, so they actually do give you enough cable to basically open it if you should want to, which is really good. I would hate this to lose like all of its functionality just because of the lights, but that's good. Okay, so I'm guessing now it is the left side that we're worried about. Can we see that? Yeah, we can. Okay, good. Telling me to install it right the stairs. There we go, installed. So we've got to separate this one just a tiny bit. Sorry, I know this is an extraordinarily bad angle. We're kind of dealing with wires of specific length now. Still hasn't told me anything about the plugs, by the way. Yeah, I'm sorry, that one's weird. Final bit of strip light. Yeah, it doesn't tell you where to put the plugs. Running the plugs through the back. And then I will reconnect the joint. And I'll turn this around and show you what I did. Alright, so if you can see what I did... Basically, I've got 1, 2, and 3. 3 of the plugs, all right here. Not necessarily the prettiest looking thing, but it's there. Alright, so I'm going to undo this little twist eye here. These wires are so tiny. Okay, they don't have to be in any specific order, they just have to be plugged in. Okay, there we go. Effectively, we are powered and ready to go, but before we do that, I want to finish the lighting that I have to. Put this back together. Because I want to do, like, the big final plug-in reveal, you know? The nice thing about this one is, like, we only took off, like, 2 pieces. And everything else, like, original stays. Just nice, I like that. Alright, so we're going to turn this around, because we're going to focus on this boy now. The traffic light. This nice one that actually has red, green, and yellow light cycles. So we're removing the traffic light. Basically just going to rebuild it around this boy. Basically I think this makes it a total of 4 pieces that we're not using from the original set in the lit kit. We just put on the little yellow boxing. Actually, I take that back. There's 1 more piece in there, so it's a total of 5. Put back the clip. Here we go. I mean, that's it. That's that's a traffic light, and we know that this one's lit. Bam. Okay, so let's take this guy off because we're going to be doing some wire management. because this one is semi-visible, I kind of want to make it look as good as I can. I'm gonna take my sweet little time with this. And I guess for, like, the aesthetics of this particular part, they're just basically suggesting that you raise the side of the model. And basically run it underground. Which, you know what, I'm okay with. Okay, but you know what time it is? Time to actually plug this in and see how it all looks. Because we haven't done this for nothing. Okay, flip the switches. Traffic signal. Hey, at least it means we didn't break any of the wires, right? Oh, that's glorious. Look at that. Dude, I love it. Even around the side here. Dude, this is gonna look so good in the freaking dark. Look at that. Dude, that is beautiful. Now all I gotta do is find a way, where's my fingers, to get the Ecto 1 in there and have it lit up as well. A successful lighting application. They're probably one of the coolest LEGO kits that I have ever had. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. At least anybody that watches this that wanted to do themselves, I've never done anything like this before. Hopefully you can see that it's not that hard. I certainly found it nice and easy. It was a lot of fun. All in all, it took me an hour and 45 minutes to do both of these kits. There we go. Let's get that boy out in front. But yeah, dude, that is freaking sick as. Thanks for watching again, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.